Hello, my name is James Bonham, and today's topic is all about getting started with Keystone the right way. First, let's take a look at how Keystone works. Keystone is a self-paced, independent study program. Keystone allows students to work as fast or as slow as they need, and allows students to create their own schedules and set their own due dates. Students will have 24/7 access to their courses so they can work anytime, day or night. In addition, you can complete your courses in any order as well. Please note that if you are working with a school, they may have a schedule set for you already, so please abide by that schedule. Next, let's take a look at the login and how to access the Resource and Orientation Center. First, go to keystoneschoolonline.com and select the red Student Login tab in the upper right-hand corner. Next, select the school in which you're enrolled in. Today, we're going to use the high school login. Next, enter your username and password. Do take caution when entering your username and password, as both are case sensitive. In addition, many of the passwords contain numbers. Once you've entered your homeroom, you'll find on the left-hand side a box that says My Courses. In that box will be a list of your courses, in addition to the Resource and Orientation Center and Guidance Services. To enter the Resource and Orientation Center, simply click on the title, Resource and Orientation Center. This should be your first step to really getting started with Keystone. The Resource and Orientation Center offers many resources to help you learn to navigate, submit assignments, communicate with teachers, and much more. So be sure to work through the Resource and Orientation Center. Keystone is an independent learning program, so it's your responsibility to complete the rock. As you work through this, you'll start in Section 1 and work your way all the way down to Section 4. Once you've completed this and you feel comfortable with navigating and how to submit different assignments, your next step is going to be looking at schedules. So, creating schedules is very important. It's really a time to start evaluating yourself and thinking about what type of student you are and planning out how you are going to complete your courses in the 12 months that you have to complete them. Again, if you're working with a school, they may have a different deadline for you, so be sure to abide by that deadline. Scheduling will help you stay on track. It'll give you a goal to work toward, and ultimately it'll be your roadmap to finishing your courses in the time frame that you need to. So again, take time, evaluate what type of student you are, what's going to work best for you, and of course share all of that with whoever is going to be helping you, whether it's a tutor, a parent, a teacher. Be sure to share all the information with those so that everybody's on the same page. When you're creating a schedule, there are many options here at Keystone, and we have many tools to help you as well. So let's take a look at a chart here that'll help you kind of set a baseline to start with of how much time you should be putting in based on the number of courses that you're taking. We'll start off in the yellow box on the left-hand side. Full credit courses are based off of 180 hours. Half credit courses or half-year courses are based off of 90 hours. And advanced placement courses, AP courses, they're based off of 250 up to 400 hours. It all depends on the type of AP course you're taking. And looking at the first box, the blue box, if you look at one course and you want to complete it in 2 months, you should work about 4.5 hours per day. Now that's not a guarantee that if you work 4.5 hours a day that you will finish in 2 months. There are many factors that come into play when scheduling your time out. You being one of the biggest factors as the student. Everybody has different strengths and different weaknesses. So maybe you're an excelled mathematics student and it only takes you 100 hours to complete the course. Or maybe you struggle in English and it'll take you 200 hours to complete the course. It'll just differ from student to student, so not everybody will be the same. Looking at the blue chart, you'll notice the more courses you have, the more time it will be required for you to finish. To finish 2 courses in 2 months, it's 9 hours per day, which just really is not a realistic plan. My recommendation is that students work 6 to 6.5 hours a day, maybe closer to 7.5 hours with breaks. As you see, the number gets lower and lower as you progress when you're taking more time to finish. The pink and red box here, that's all for half credit courses, and it works the same way. It's based off of 90 hours and the number of days that you work each month and the number of months that you want to finish in. So be sure to check this out in the Resource and Orientation Center. And again, these are suggested hours and at least give you a baseline to start with. You can start working 4.5 hours a day and assess then after maybe a week or two to determine is 4.5 hours enough or is it too little? And then you can adjust your time from there based off of the tasks that you're completing. There are multiple schedules for you to follow, and again, if you're working with a school and they have a schedule set for you and they have deadlines set for you, please abide by them. But here are a few schedules that may help you out. These are the schedules that most students are successful with at Keystone. These are not the only types of schedules out there, but these are the ones that we suggest. The first is every course every day. And this is very familiar to a lot of students because this is what most schools follow. You start your morning off with mathematics, so then maybe after 45 minutes or an hour and a half, you move on to your next subject, social studies, and on to the next science, etc. So it's very familiar for a lot of students. It gives you variety, so you have time to visit multiple subjects throughout the day, and it's very organized. You work a little bit in each course every day. Now at Keystone, there is a con to this type of schedule, and it could be that trying to visit all of your courses in one day could just simply be too much because our courses are not structured with a teacher ending the lesson. So if you plan to work 1 hour per day per course, you may reach your 1 hour marker, but maybe you're not in a good place to stop, or you're really interested in the information that you're studying and want to continue. So if you were to push back the start of your next course, well then you're pushing back your whole day and ultimately spending more time working and possibly getting behind in other courses throughout the day. So if that's the case, if this becomes too much to try to visit every course every day, the next type of schedule might be a good one for you. The next schedule is block scheduling, and this allows you to work on certain courses on certain days. And this is great for middle school students or students that have 5 courses. So if you wanted to, you can say Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you're going to work on science, math, and social studies. Then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you could work on English and your elective course. This is a nice setup. It allows variety throughout the day, so you're getting to visit different subjects throughout the day, but you won't have the weight of all of them on your shoulders every day. Now some of the cons here, it could be a little confusing mapping this out. So if you choose this option, be sure to have a good calendar and a good layout where you can lay everything out and all your schedules out so that you can keep track. Monday I need to be working on this and completing these tasks. So you want to be very organized with this. And also for some students, this still could be too much, trying to juggle all of the courses throughout the day. If that's the case, the last option here might be the choice that works best for you. That's 1 course per day of the week. It allows you to focus just on that 1 course all day long. Now some cons here, it could get boring because you're visiting and working on just that 1 class all day long. And I don't want you to fall into the trap thinking, oh, I have 1 course, that'll be easy. You should still put in a full days of school working in that 1 course. And also, you're essentially going to be completing a week's worth of work in that 1 day. So that could be tough as well, depending on the type of assignments. Again, assess the type of student you are, the type of learner you are, and really what you have going on in your life of what schedule is going to work with you best. If a school has a set schedule for you, please abide by that set schedule. Next, we're going to do a course walkthrough. We're going to look at course announcements, teacher contact information, and we're going to look at the orientation section within the course, or the teacher's office. In that section, we're going to be looking at scheduling, which is, again, very important. We just spent quite a bit of time on it, and we're going to be revisiting it again. We're going to look at textbook alignment, grading rubrics, and then we'll look at the My Grades page. And then last, we'll do a unit walkthrough, looking at the different icons, navigating, and assignment submission. To get started, we're going to go back to our homeroom. To do that, we're going to click on KNHS Homeroom. I'll be able to see the list of my courses again, and I'll scroll down and select Biology with Lab. Again, just like the Resource and Orientation Center, I enter right at the announcements page. Now everybody should be reading their announcements right from the start. You need to read through all of the announcements, and then each day you visit that course, skim through and see if there's any new announcements each day that you work in it. Starting off, you have your teacher's contact information. It's found under the Staff Information button. Here, you can find your teacher's name, email address, and the work phone number. When communicating with your teacher, it's very important that you're very clear on who you are by providing your first and last name. And it's best to use the full name that you enrolled in Keystone with. I know a lot of students have nicknames, so it's always good to give your full name that you enrolled in at Keystone. So first and last name. And also, you want to identify which course you're in with that teacher. Some of our teachers teach multiple courses, and they also have multiple sections of each course. So it's always important to identify which course you're in. In addition to that, in the Keystone Support tab, you can find your course code. On the right-hand side, you'll see a list of your courses, and in front of the name of the course is where you'll find that course code. So when we look for the Biology with Lab course right here, we see the BIO01I0815000003. That's your course code. If you provide that to your teacher, they can tell exactly which course you're in and exactly which section you're in as well. So please provide that to your teacher as well. Once you have identified who you are and which course you're in, it's very important that you're very specific on what you're having trouble with. So let's say I was sending an email to Mr. Havington. Say, hello, Mr. Havington, my name is James Bonham, and I'm enrolled in your Biology with Lab course. Give them the course code. And I'm having trouble in Section 1, the nature of science and biology, 1.01, and I'm on page 3. I'm having a hard time understanding the instructions for journal conducting an experiment. Now, Mr. Havington knows exactly what I'm having trouble with, and he can help me. This will help you receive feedback from teachers and answers from teachers much quicker, so they don't have to dig around so much and figure out exactly what you need. Next, we're going to go back here using this breadcrumb trail in this little house here. We can click on that. It'll take us right back to the page. So continuing with staff information, you saw here that there's a number to call. You can call that number with the teacher's extension, and you're going to leave them a voicemail. Again, be specific as possible. Who you are, first and last name, the course you're in, and be specific on what your question is. Now, whatever form of communication you use with your teacher, whether you email them or call and leave them a voicemail, that teacher has 1 business day to return your communication. Next, let's look at the teacher's office. Again, you find the teacher's contact information. In Section 2, you have multiple boxes here with different information. Be sure to visit the course syllabus, Writer's Workshop, assignment checklist, academic integrity training video, info on assignment and Keystone standards, the writing guide, cleared assignments, schedule, scoring guides, format for submitting files, how to use EBSCOhost, discussion board instructions, how to use Turnitin, student handbook, and how to do speaking assignments. This is all very important for you to work through these boxes. Take your time. It's not a race, so be sure to fully understand all the information that each of these have to present. But what I want to focus on here is the scheduling section. You click on schedule, and now you have access to the dynamic course schedule. It gives you generic week 1, week 2, week 3 type schedule, and you can follow this if you'd like. It'll equate to a 36-week schedule. But let's say you need to finish this course in a certain time frame that's not 36 weeks. So maybe you set a deadline for yourself. You could adjust the dates here. Let's say you're going to start this course on Monday, the 21st of December. You can select 12, 21, 2015, and let's say you'd like to finish this course by next summer. So we'll enter 6/1, 2016, then click Submit. When you click Submit, it's only going to regenerate the schedule. It does not actually submit it to your teacher or anyone else. It just regenerates the schedule. Notice the due dates have changed. So now you have a due date of January 6th, 2016, and it's letting you know that the following 3 tasks should be completed by the end of that day. Next, you have your Friday due date and another 3 tasks to complete by that day. You can follow this schedule if you'd like. Print it off. Be sure to print it off, as Blackboard will not save a copy of this. So once you print it off, make a copy for your mentor, whether it's a teacher, a tutor, parents, whoever's working with you. Be sure to share a copy of this schedule with. In addition, if the schedule does not work for you, you can copy and paste it into programs like Word or Excel and modify it more if you'd like. A few other tips: once you've printed it off, you can highlight certain tasks for certain days of the week. So maybe we highlight everything blue that we're going to work on Mondays. And maybe we highlight everything purple that we're going to work on Tuesdays. So there's just a few ways that you can organize your schedule, or you can just simply write next to each task Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the day that you plan on completing that task. You can adjust the schedule. So if you were to fall behind or have an unexpected break, you can come back in here and readjust the schedule by entering different dates as well. So that's the dynamic course schedule. It's a very helpful tool. Be sure to check it out. Again, you can find that in the teacher's office and then click on schedule. There's another tool here in this teacher's office. If you received a textbook with your course, you'll find a textbook alignment document. This document will tell you, based on the topic and the concept that you're studying, which chapters and pages that you can read for additional information. This can be very helpful. If you've received a novel with an English course, that novel is mandatory, as some textbooks are optional or just supplemental resources. So take the time, explore the teacher's office, and fully understand everything before you get into the content. Next, you have the course library. And here there's more resources. There's eLibrary, a writer's workshop, Turnitin, and then some information on the government club and some introduction to different assignments here as well. So be sure to read through all of this content. Next, let's look at the My Grades page. The My Grades page gives you access to a list of all of your graded assignments that you must complete in order to finish a course. It also gives you access to your current grade, that's the cumulative grade, that'll be listed right here under the grade column. It'll also allow you to view the running total, so that's how many points you've earned out of the total number of points possible. Now is a list of the assignments. Notice each one has a number in front of it. That'll help you connect to which unit it belongs to. So our very first unit is the nature of science and biology. So all of the assignments that have a 1 in front of it belong to that unit. All the assignments that have a 2 belong to the second unit, photosynthesis. This is a great tool to compare with your schedule to ensure that you're staying on track and not missing any assignments. When a teacher scores an assignment, they'll give you feedback, and you can find that here in this column as well. In the last activity call, you'll see the date and time that you've submitted an item, and then that will change once the teacher scores it to the date and time the teacher scored your work. And then last, over on the far right, you'll find how many points each assignment is worth. This one's worth 25 points, and once it's graded, you'll see your score right here where the dash is. There are a few icons that will appear in this grade page, and we'll visit those in a little bit once we do some practice exercises. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll also find the total number of points possible for the course. The My Grades page, again, combined with your course schedule, will be a great tool for keeping you on track and simply keeping track on how you're doing. Now, let's take a look at the first unit, the nature of science and biology. To enter a unit, you simply click on the title of that unit, and now you'll have multiple icons. The first two icons, it's the Earth with a piece of paper behind it, that's all content. So they're the actual lessons that you're going to be working through, reading through information, watching videos, possibly playing review games, dragon match games, and also taking notes on the content. It's very important that you take notes as you're working through the content. Yellow folders can mean many things. You just need to read what's next to it. So this one's for a journal submission, the next one's for a discussion submission, and then another journal submission, and then a lab. In other courses, you may find that these yellow folders lead you to more content. So it just depends on the course that you're working on. Next, the icon with the red X and the green check here, they're typically quizzes and exams. Let's jump into the first unit, the first section of this unit, 1.00 Introduction. This is going to outline everything that you should expect to come up to within the unit. Here are some questions to consider. This is a great outline for taking notes. Write down these questions, and you can basically answer them as you work through the unit. And then also objectives. What do they want you to pull out of this lesson? They want you to be able to explain, describe, define. So these are key things to take notes on as well. There's some videos here, and you'll also find blue hyperlinks from time to time in different courses. And you'll be able to click on these and open different documents and different resources. To leave this unit, notice this is just a one-page unit. To leave this, one-page section, to leave this, you're going to go up to the top, and you're going to click on the faded lettering here, the nature of science and biology. That's going to bring us right back so we can go into the next section of the unit. Click on the bold lettering, and now we've entered the actual lesson content. Now you're going to read through, take notes, be sure to keep the questions in mind and the objectives that you just read on the previous section. And as you work through, you will be prompted when to complete assignments. So now that we've reached page 3, we've reached our first assignment, journal, conducting an experiment. When completing assignments like this one, you'll use programs like Microsoft Word or OpenOffice Document Creator. Essentially, you need to type out your journal entry and then save it to your computer as a document. Now you'll find instructions here and also in the teacher's office in the grading rubrics as well. Once you've completed this assignment, you've saved it to your computer as a file, it's now time to submit it to your teacher to score. To go back, we're going to go back up to this breadcrumb trail, and we're going to click on the nature of science and biology, and that'll take us back. Now we come to our first yellow folder, 1.01, Journal, Conducting an Experiment. That's the assignment we were just looking at. We're going to enter that folder. Remember the first icon, the Earth icon, that's content. So if for some reason you needed to go back into the lesson and review the assignment, you could follow this link. But for submission purposes, we're going to follow the link next to the icon with the blue ruler. So we're going to click on the 1.01 Journal, Conducting an Experiment, the second link. Notice it says right here, submit your assignment here. We click on that and we enter the Upload Assignment section. In section 2 is where you need to attach your file. You'll click on Browse My Computer. You're going to find your file that you want to submit. I have a test document. Now you'll see your file attached right below the Browse My Computer button. Now that it's attached, it's ready to be submitted. To submit, you can go to the upper right-hand corner or lower right-hand corner and click the blue Submit button. Do take caution, take your time. When you hit submit, depending on your file size, it may take a little bit longer to load. So do take your time. Don't rush things. Allow everything to load appropriately to ensure that your submission goes through. Now I can review my document. This was my test doc. I can see the attachments over here on the right. It's there. I'm happy with it. Now I'm going to go ahead and click OK. You must click this OK button for it to go through. Now that I've clicked OK, let's double check in the My Grades page and make sure my submission went through. Simply click on My Grades. Now we find our assignment 1.01, Journal Conducting an Experiment. You see on December 18th, 2015 at 4:26 p.m. it was submitted. Notice this icon here, this gold coin with the white exclamation point. Anytime you see that, that means that the assignment is submitted and waiting for the teacher to score it. The teacher will have 3 business days to score this assignment. Now that we know that's submitted, we can continue on through our work. Next, let's take a look at a quiz. As you're working through, again, it will prompt you when to complete different tasks. If it tells you to complete a quiz, you can enter a quiz by going to the icon with the red X and the green check and clicking on the bold lettering next to it. This quiz is the 1.01, the Scientific Method Lab Quiz. Click on the bold lettering, then click Begin. Now that we've entered the quiz, you'll simply read through each question carefully and select the best possible answer. When selecting an answer, you will notice that on the right-hand side, they'll start to save automatically after a little bit of time has passed. Again, when you're reading through a quiz, be sure to take your time and read each question very carefully and look at your options very carefully. Quizzes are not timed, so don't feel rushed. Quizzes are also open notes and open book. We have an open book policy here at Keystone. Be sure to read through your student handbook to understand that policy fully. Now, if you're working with a school, please follow their guidelines as well. If they do not allow you to use a book or they do time your quizzes, please abide by their rules. Notice on the right-hand side, like I said, they're starting to save automatically. And that's nice because it's saving your answers. Let's say you get stuck. If you're stuck halfway through the quiz, you're not sure about the rest of them, and you can't find anything in your notes, you can leave this quiz. Again, quizzes are not timed, they're self-paced, and you can stop them at any time and come back to them to finish. To leave it, we're going to again go up to the breadcrumb trail here and click on the nature of science and biology. You're going to have a pop-up that will say, are you sure you want to leave this page? And I'm going to leave this page. Now, you can go back into the lesson if you like and review. You can review your notes. You can contact your teacher and ask questions. And once you're ready, you can go back and complete the quiz. But first, let's take a look at a new icon that has appeared in the My Grades page. Notice now, for the 1.01, the Scientific Method Lab Quiz, the one we were just in, it's now date stamped December 18th, 2015 at 4:28 p.m. and it says upcoming. That means that I've started that quiz, but I haven't finished it. And you'll also see a blue icon here that says that it's in progress. The teacher will not do anything with an assignment if it has that blue icon there and it's not completed. So to go back and complete the quiz, we're going to enter it the same way that we did before. We'll go to the nature of science and biology, click on 1.01, the Scientific Method Lab Quiz, click Begin, and then we'll go through and answer the rest of our questions. Again, reading through carefully, selecting the best possible answer. If by chance you need to change an answer and it has saved already, I recommend changing that answer and then clicking on the Save Answer button. When you're done, be sure to go back through and review every question. Be sure that you're happy with your answers, and then you're going to click the Save and Submit button. Once you click Save and Submit, that quiz is finished. You cannot retake the quiz. And this is why. I'm going to hit Save and Submit, and again, it's going to prompt me, are you sure you're ready to submit this? Let's click OK. Now we have our information on our quiz. when we've completed the quiz, how long it took us to complete the quiz, and we're going to click this OK button. Again, you must click the OK button, and now we'll be able to review the questions. We'll be able to see what we got right, what we got wrong, and you'll have instant results on quizzes that are all multiple choice. Once you're done reviewing, you can go to the bottom right corner again and click OK. So that's how you'll submit an assignment such as journals, quizzes. There's a lot more information in the Resource and Orientation Center, so please be sure to work through the Resource and Orientation Center for more information on submitting assignments. Now, let's review on everything that we've gone over today. Step 1 to getting started. Complete the Resource and Orientation Center for Keystone, also known as the ROC. Step 2, create a schedule for each course. Don't forget about the dynamic course scheduling tool in each course. That could be a great baseline or a full schedule for you to follow. Step 3, contact your teacher just to introduce yourself. To make sure that you're able to connect with them, just provide your first name, your last name, your course name, the course code, and just a few facts about yourself, maybe some hobbies or interests that you have. Step 4, explore your courses. Read the announcements, review the teacher's office, look through the course library, and the My Grades page. And step 5, start completing your course tasks. And remember, do not hesitate to reach out at any time if you need assistance.